up high, who's Luther Clay. Now jumping LaFrenz. So Rhode Island has the ball to start things off. Rhode Island in blue had a dominant win over Murray State in the first round Friday.
Once again, we have a similar type of basketball game right here in which Rhode Island's big men are going to have to get in on the action and help out those two guards.
Rhode Island's the last Atlantic 10 team left in the tournament. Only they, and they're the only one that got into the second round as the shot clock were running out. And finally a miss by Mobley. Loose ball goes out and will come back into Kansas.
The very last game we saw Antonio Reynolds-Dean get into it very early and help the backcourt players. And this game he's going to have to be able to do that going against T.J. Pugh.
So now it's Mobley matching up with Pierce. There's LaFrenz inside, and Rafe LaFrenz playing with the Raging Bull look today. Got a big old shiner there in the right eye.
You can just tell how smooth Rafe LaFrenz is handling the basketball down the low post. Very difficult to stop him one-on-one.
Wheeler had a great game. Wheeler was really the key for Rhode Island against Murray State. Mobley with the drive, a tip doesn't go, and it's cleared by LaFrenz. Ryan Robertson. And a long one from Billy Thomas. With the long rebound, all to Rhode Island. Now Wheeler trying to get two easy ones, and they do. Oh, he spotted Mobley. Great senior communication.
That was a wonderful hookup right there with Cuttino Mobley running the left side. And what a pass by Tyson Wheeler to connect.
Is there eye contact? Is that how that happens?
Oh, that's just teamwork. You understand each other when you're running out and no one's guarding you. And these guys have done it before in the past.
LaFrenz, great drop step in, but missed the shot. Joshua King with a rebound and a foul against Kansas.
Got an opportunity to miss two shots now, but now coming down the court, Cuttino gets behind the Kansas defense and is able to put that one on through. Great connection between the two guards.
Kansas foul was on Paul Pierce. So here comes Rhode Island. What kind of tempo do you think Rhode Island would like to have here, Ro?
I think they want to make sure and control this tempo. The important part is that they have to get and incorporate all the players that they have right now because they're going against a strong squad in Kansas. So the big men are going to have to play well, not just the two first-teamers in the Atlantic 10.
Well, the first two shots have been off for Billy Thomas, but Rafe LaFrenz up there by himself for the tip.
Well, that time Luther Clay has to definitely get a body on Rafe LaFrenz and can't let him have his way when that ball goes up.
Now Wheeler, that's going to be short, wide right. Wheeler turning to say he got fouled, but gets no relief. There's the 7 stitches above the right eye.
He's not looking too bad, though. As a matter of fact, Rafe thinks he's quite good looking, so he thinks he can handle a couple of scratches on the face.
I'm sure he had some laughs out of his teammates when they read that quote in the Oklahoma City papers here this morning. Traveling called on Pierce. Paul Pierce, you talk about the literal statement of a man among boys, and that's what Paul Pierce seemed to be here Friday night against Prairie View, just physically superior.
He's physically superior and just completely talented with the skill level, shooting shots, taking it to the basket, just doing everything and keeping high concentration against Prairie View.
Luther Clay's bank shot doesn't go, and LaFrenz rebounds. Well, Rhode Island this year has not been a good starting team, and they were not against Murray State Friday.
I think the important part, they're playing a better team, a more higher quality basketball team, so they can't afford to get down against this Kansas team and expect to come back.
T.J. Pugh doesn't get the roll, but a good rebound. Rhode Island is rebounding early.
They have to do that, keep pace with LaFrenz, also T.J. Pugh and Pierce.
Now Wheeler takes it, and he's called for the offensive foul.
It was just an excellent defense right there by Ryan Robertson, cutting off the drive to the middle and staying with Wheeler pace to pace. Look at the footwork by Ryan Robertson now, staying pace to pace. He knows that he has an opportunity right here and has to use the right hand to clear Robertson. Offensive foul.
Ryan Robertson bringing it up for Kansas. He didn't have a very good morning as he had watched his younger brother, who plays for St. Louis U. They got blown out by Kentucky today in the second round.
Cuttino Mobley doing a good job right there. Pierce goes to the baseline. He stays right with him, knocking the basketball out of his hand. Going to have his hand full guarding Paul Pierce.
Now Robertson, who's had a very good year shooting the ball. LaFrenz left alone, takes the 2. A long rebound to Antonio Reynolds-Dean. Well, Kansas not hitting early, but neither is Rhode Island. Kansas 2 out of 7. Rhodey has 1 for his first 6.
Good play by Paul Pierce right there. Cuttino Mobley, just a little too much dribbling right there.
Pierce looked like he could have taken that one, but he dished it off, and Robertson hits the 3.
Getting an opportunity to drive right down the middle. Defense collapses, just pure and simple basketball. Kick it out to the open man who drops it.
Well, that's why you're an All-American, though. Pierce could have taken that ball in.
And had the easier shot because Brian Robertson had an open look at the basket.
Oh, and Wheeler picks up a second foul. And there's an early one that really hurts Rhode Island as Tyson Wheeler has picked up 2 quick fouls, and they've both been on offense. Sliding out there, Jim Herrick irate over the second foul assessed his point guard Tyson Wheeler, and he really went at it just at the beginning of that timeout. And his own assistants, including over UCLA great, you see right there, Larry Farmer had to calm him down and get Herrick back focused on his own team.
Well, he knows how much he needs Tyson Wheeler to be in this basketball game.
Here's Luther Clay on the rebound for Rhode Island. Now Tyson Wheeler has come out. Preston Murphy, who had a big game off the bench for Rhode Island Friday night, has replaced him. But Ro, wouldn't you imagine that Wheeler will be back before this half's over?
Well, he has to be back. He has to get a chance to get in there and to play some good basketball. But Preston Murphy has a nice offensive game, so they shouldn't lose anything because of that.
Luther Clay inside. Unfortunately for Rhode Island, though, Tyson Wheeler, you know, one of the best point guards they've ever had there. Very high in most of the major categories in school history. And now you're going to ask Mobley to be that man.
Well, now he's getting an opportunity to watch and take a look. Now he's got to definitely make the adjustments. He has 2 offensive fouls being called on him, so it's important for him.
And now the rebound corralled by Rhode Island. So Kansas leads at 7-4. Kansas has not come out nailing the threes as they did to Prairie View. And Mobley nails one. So Cuttino Mobley ties the game here for Rhode Island.
He's taking the direct challenge also. He sees it's an All-American Paul Pierce on him. And he wants to go one-on-one up there and make sure that he knows that, hey, I can play too.
Off the baseline, Billy Thomas fouled. He got nailed after the shot. And it was Antonio Reynolds-Dean.
A tough shot right there by Thomas on the baseline side.
Well, Reynolds-Dean, who also had a big game against Murray, picks up a foul, and in the line will go Billy Thomas for Kansas. Billy Thomas had played in 135 straight games before he missed the Big 12 tournament. Now you think about that, when you went to Kansas State, did you imagine you'd play 135 games?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. It's a lot of college basketball to be played. And Billy Thomas right now has missed all these games, and these games are very important for him right now in the early rounds for him to make sure and get his rhythm back, because he is an outside shooter, and that's a skill position in which you have to have your rhythm down.
Billy Thomas knocks them both down. Kansas making some changes. Kenny Gregory and Lester Earl have both come in. Kansas has won 14 straight games. Since Rafe LaFrentz came back from a broken hand in mid-January, they've not lost. They've won 35 overall. And Luther Clay inside called for traveling.
There's going to be some good ball movement right there by Rhode Island, though. They were breaking down the Kansas defense. He just had to put the ball down first before he dropped that left leg.
4 turnovers already for Rhode Island.
They really have to do a good job right now early in the beginning, because you know what? Kansas, I don't think they're not shooting the basketball that well right now, so this is their opportunity.
So Pierce says, the heck with the outside shooting. I'm just going to muscle my way in.
That's what makes him so skilled, though, because he can do it from outside and on that play, taking them inside.
Here's Preston Murphy now handling it for Rhode Island. And shooting it. And there's LaFrentz, who's owning the boards early. That's 5 rebounds already for Rafe LaFrentz. And now the shot. That baseline shot that's been unstoppable for 4 years.
It's a little bit more of a fadeaway right there. Just shot it just a little bit short as he was leading away from Clay.
Mobley missing, but the long rebound will be run down by Reynolds-Dean. Oh, good strong move there, but he couldn't finish. And another LaFrentz rebound. Lester Earl inside. Blocked by Rhodey, but LaFrenz again.
That's a nice defensive teamwork right there by Rhode Island, but LaFrenz was just too tough in following the play.
Well, he might break rebound records at this rate. LaFrenz just crushing Rhode Island inside, and Kansas has a 6-point lead. Even though there's a ton of Kansas people, it's a little quiet in Oklahoma City. Everyone might have been a little bit drained by the incredible Valparaiso, Florida State game. Now the shot clock running out, and they tell Mobley he's got to go. And tried the last second dish to Reynolds Dean out of bounds.
You see a good double team right now by the Rhode Island players, but LaFrenz following the play, stays with the action, and gets right on in there and gets 2 for Kansas. He's really concentrating on the boards, though.
Now LaFrenz sitting down. Eric Chenoweth, 7-foot freshman, in for the first time for Kansas. Now Robertson set up on the wing. Rebounded by Wheeler, and Tyson Wheeler back in there for Rhode Island. Quickly popping. Oh, right off the bench, knocks down the 3.
Well, he had a chance to sit down a little bit too, get a little frustration out to it, got a chance to see exactly what's happening on the court and come out and try to make a difference.
And I guess, Ro, you find out the measure of a player right now. Tyson Wheeler, you're gonna have to be able to play with fouls.
Well, he has to, because he's much needed. He leads this basketball team in assists, and he's a catalyst at penetrating and dishing off to the inside players.
Wheeler off the bench to give Rhode Island some hope as he knocks down a 3. It's Kansas by 3. Well, Kansas now Nick Bradford in the game, along with C.B. McGrath, Lester Earl, Kenny Gregory, Eric Chenoweth. So right now, no starters on the floor for the Jayhawks. David Arababu in the game for Rhode Island as he harassed Lester Earl, who missed a shot. Here comes Rhode Island. Wheeler has 2 fouls, and Antonio Reynolds Dean has 2 fouls. Now inside, Kansas call, actually on the ball. It's McGrath called.
Playing Tyson Wheeler very, very strong on that play. And Tyson's movement right now, they're complaining about him knocking C.B. McGrath's hand off, but he's a very, very quick player for C.B. McGrath, so he's going to have to make sure and get those feet moving.
And now Preston Murphy in the paint. And it's rebounded by Kansas. In Oklahoma City, it's the #1 seed in the Midwest, Kansas, leading Rhode Island 13-10. Just over 9 minutes in. Eric Chenoweth missing. Kansas giving its frontline people a rest here early after Rafe LaFrenz just terrorized Rhode Island the first 6 minutes of the game. And Joshua King knocks down a 2.
Joshua can shoot from long range, and that's why they have him in this basketball game too, getting nice opportunities and good look.
Now Preston Murphy of Rhode Island harassing, and he's called for the foul. Well, what Roy Williams seems to be willing to do here is to give up a little bit early, Ro, to rest people and try to say that my depth is going to beat Rhode Island over the long haul.
Well, they do have great depth, as we know. We see them making more substitutions right now, bringing back in LaFrenz and T.J. Pugh and also Billy Thomas. The important part of this is that Kansas has to get it going because they're not shooting the basketball particularly well right now.
Just 29% shooting for Kansas, but oh, look at LaFrenz.
Oh!
What a great move under the basket.
Man, that was a super move.
LaFrenz has 8 points and 7 rebounds already. Rhode Island has no answer for him.
C.B. McGrath is doing a very good job also by pressuring Tyson Wheeler. He might get him to get a third foul by pushing off and getting him frustrated.
Arababu is going to be called for traveling.
That's just great pass right here by C.B. McGrath, and even a greater move by LaFrenz as he floats and gets it off the other side of the basket. That's a great move right there. Great athletic talent by LaFrenz.
When you watch him do that, you forget that he's 6'11".
Exactly right. Just guard moves, a small forward move, and the guy can do it all. That's why I say he would be my #1 pick.
Yeah, Nick Bradford. Great dump down low to Pugh, but the left-hander missed. So Rhode Island is, despite some foul troubles, staying around here in the first half, down 3. Wheeler trying to set up Arababu, but Wheeler somehow came out with that ball. Now Reynolds Dean runs it down. So let's see what happens. There's a turnover. I believe it's going to give the ball back to Kansas. Let's look at LaFrenz again.
Watch the play, though. Watch the float there on the other side. That's a beautiful play, too. Great body control for a guy that's so big like LaFrenz to be able to go the other side and finish.
7 Rhode Island turnovers already, just 1 for Kansas. Jayhawks have their starting 5 back out there. Pierce stumbles, keeps the ball, though, by flipping it to Robertson. And he misses. There's Pierce right back in.
Didn't waste time on that offensive rebound. Just got the ball, went right back up. No head fakes. Got there before the defense.
So this is where Rhode Island is really going to miss Reynolds Dean.
Well, they have to have a big guy out there who is also an offensive player. And Reynolds Dean is that for Rhode Island.
He's sitting right now with 2 fouls. And Rhode Island is a team that all year long, and they're very open about it, rebounding has been their weakness. They did rebound with Murray State Friday. But this is a different challenge.
It's a different challenge, a better basketball team, but they're just going to have to stand up to that if they're going to have an opportunity to win. Not only the guard play, but also a total team play, because Kansas is being a strong one.
Right now, Rhode Island is leading by 2, although it doesn't seem that way. Here's Mobley. Well, Katino Mobley, a step inside the arc.
That's a 2-point basket by Katino Mobley.
So with Reynolds Dean out right now, Wheeler playing a little bit hamstrung with the 2 fouls, and maybe Mobley will need to keep Rhode Island in it. Robertson missing. There's Luther Clay up big for the rebound. Kansas by 3. Mobley, great drive in reverse.
You can see it in his eyes that he wants to go against Pierce. He wants to get out there and have a great basketball game and show some fearlessness that he, too, is a very good player.
9 points early for Mobley. There's a miss and a rebound foul against Kansas.
You guys will be only the second 13 seed to move on, Homer, to the Sweet 16. Do you feel like you're sort of living out the college version of the movie Hoosiers?
We really do. In fact, we saw some excerpts coming up just to remind the players there is a shining moment for each of us in our lives, and how wonderful for our players to have that shining moment.
We kept hearing in that second half from the coaching staff, find a way to get it done. What play sticks out in your mind from that overtime?
The overtime, Tony Volchinskas did a marvelous job of getting an offensive rebound, sticking it back in, that gave us a 4-point lead. That was huge because now a 3 couldn't tie it. They had to foul us to get back to the free throw line, and that stood out. And then Bryce's steal and his 2 free throws were critical for us.
How much does this team believe in itself now after these big 2 wins? You may have to face Kansas in the next round.
Well, we'll wait and see. It would be wonderful to have a Herrick family and a Drew family there, because we've got Jim Herrick Jr. on our staff, and it'd be neat to see Rhode Island kind of upset KU. But we're just thrilled to be there, and whichever team wins, we're excited to have the opportunity to be there.
Congratulations, Homer. Best of luck in the Sweet 16.
Thank you, Beth.
Ted?
Well, Valparaiso watching at least for the first half here, and they'll be meeting the winner of this game in the Midwest Region semifinals. That'll be in St. Louis. Paul Pierce, the shot to give Kansas back the lead. Now it's Mobley firing for 3. And the loose ball comes to Luther Clay. The pinball kick goes to Rhode Island.
That's a good opportunity basket right there. Staying around those boards, good things can happen for you, as it did for Rhode Island on that play.
So Rhode Island leading by a point here when they've had 2 consecutive putback baskets. Now a foul off the ball against Kansas. Foul is on Billy Thomas. 4th team foul against the Jayhawks. Now the friends back out for Kansas. Roy Williams really getting into Rafe LaFrenz there on the sideline as Eric Chenoweth is in. Roy Williams, they seemed to be very loose and very relaxed when Kansas was here Thursday, as Murphy takes it in for Rhode Island.
That's one of the great strengths of Murphy right there. He will give you an offensive thrust right there. He looks at that ball and grabs it and tries to take it to that hoop.
A 10-2 run here for the Rams. Now Billy Thomas cannot answer, and Luther Clay with a rebound. Seemed like the other night Roy Williams was intent, though, on keeping the pedal down. He was not letting up the throttle at all. He wants his Kansas team to go for the throat here.
Because he knew that was the first round and the level of play was going to go on up, and this is exactly what he wants. He wants his team to play very, very hard and very, very strong, especially when they were playing against Prairie View.
So Rhode Island up by 3, now a strip, good steal by Pierce, and then he's fouled by Mobley.
Pierce is an excellent basketball player too. Mobley can go one-on-one on him, but he has to remember that he has an All-American on him and a guy who can play some serious defense. Right now he tries to go to the crossover. Pierce puts his hand right on down in the path and gets the steal.
Ryan Robertson back in now for Kansas. Rhode Island with Tyson Wheeler out there with 2 fouls. Reynolds Dean has been sitting quite a while with his 2. And there's Pierce, who now has 8.
That was a tough shot right there. Cuttino Mobley was all over that shot, and Pierce held it and was still able to drop the 2 points.
No balance in this first half for Kansas. Pierce and LaFrenz have combined for 16 of the 21 points. Wheeler, great stutter step move down the lane. Boy, was that beautiful.
That was a sweet move. Ryan Robertson saw about 4 or 5 fakes on that play while he put that ball in the hole right from the middle of the court.
5 minutes to go, first half. Rhode Island up 3. Wheeler almost knocked it away. Now Pierce. Back a long rebound to Wheeler, looking to push it.
Wanted to see if somebody's going to run with him.
Yeah, that was all Kansas.
They were the ones getting back. Too many white shirts on that play.
Clay. And that one is going to be a foul, I believe, on Clay.
Watch Wheeler on this move right here. Ryan Robertson sees about 4 or 5 fakes. As he fakes the up fake, goes down, utilizes his speed, and gets there and still beats Chenoweth over the top. That was a difficult move and great finish by Tyson Wheeler.
So the foul on Rhode Island's Luther Clay, it is the 7th team foul. So Paul Pierce will shoot a 1-and-1 with Rhode Island up 3. Rhode Island shooting 48% thus far. Kansas at 33. It's interesting to hear after the Kansas win against Prairie View Friday that Paul Pierce said, hey, no one expects us to get to the Final Four. Rafe LaFrenz said so many are doubting us this year, and it appears that Kansas is trying to use, and I emphasize the word use, the disrespect as motivation, despite the fact that they're ranked 2nd in the country. There's Luther Clay on the lob pass.
They are using that as motivation. They know they have a great basketball team, but they want to use that simply because they want to get there. These guys really care about that.
Now Chenoweth down low. Chenoweth losing it on the baseline, out of bounds. So Rhode Island with a 3-point lead at 4:19 to go first half, and they're after the early start where LaFrenz did damage. Rhode Island is really doing a great job inside. In Oklahoma City, the #1 seed, Kansas Jayhawks getting a test here in the first half as Rhode Island in blue has a 3-point lead coming up on the 4-minute mark. Kansas with the ball. Rafe LaFrenz and Paul Pierce have done almost all the scoring here in the first half. The pair of All-Americans really dominating the ball, and Pierce gets fouled here. Pierce with 10, LaFrenz with 8, and the rest of the Jayhawks total just 5. But not 1, 2 first-team All-Americans leading the Jayhawks.
2 tremendous basketball players, but I tell you what, the Kansas team right now in this first half is not playing very, very sharp, and the guys are not exactly ready to put it all together because the Rams have the lead right now, and they're kind of faltering around right now, not putting everything straight.
Rafe LaFrenz had a huge start to this game, but he's been sitting a while. Rhode Island is playing with its point guard Tyson Wheeler carrying 2 fouls. Starting forward, Antonio Reynolds Dean has just come back in. He's playing with 2. Pierce, after 25 in the first round, now has 11 today. It's Rhode Island by 2. We're in Oklahoma City. The #1 seed in the Midwest is Kansas. Roy Williams very comfortable in the first round, not so in the first half today. And you can't be when you've seen what's happened in this first weekend of the tournament with so many stunners. None more shocking than Valparaiso in the Sweet 16.
The main thing about Roy Williams, one of the things he could be upset about is that Rhode Island has a lead of 19-13 on the boards, and Kansas has the bigger basketball team. He's got to be upset as the interior players of Kansas.
Mobley had a three spin out, and Pierce with a rebound for Kansas. Ravel of Friends is still sitting on the bench for the Jayhawks. Lester Earl inside. Ooh, and Reynolds Dean, who has 2 fouls, reached in, stripped that one away. Now on cue, Friends and Billy Thomas return for Kansas. Let's check the Microsoft data bank. Kansas, the second largest margin of victory in the history of the NCAA tournament with their first round win over Prairie View. Scored 110 points. I mentioned Roy Williams really was intense during that win. He didn't let up on his players. As there's the great dish. Pierce really playing a great half here for Kansas.
Exactly, going on the offensive end, very, very strong right there, drawing the double team, and of course into the waiting hands of Lester Earl, who puts it down.
So Kansas has come back to tie it. Under 3 to play in the half. Tyson Wheeler. And up there for the rebound, a foul. That one's going to be on Kansas. All right, let's go to Beth Mullins with Bryce Drew.
Thanks, Ted. Well, Bryce, the big play the other day was your shot. The big play today was the strip defensively in overtime. That wasn't really your man, though, was it? You were coming over to help out?
We were in a zone, and the ball went up. They got offensive rebound, and their big guy just put it down, and I snuck my hand in there, and I just held it because I knew they had to foul me.
You've been saying your theme all day has been own the paint, and Vilshinska certainly did that for you inside in the overtime.
Definitely, he's a 7-foot big body. He loves physical play, so this is just ideal for him today.
What's the mood in the locker room right now as you guys prepare for going to the Sweet 16 for the first time ever and the possibility of facing either Coach Herrick or Kansas?
We're just living a dream right now. We're just enjoying every minute, and we're just going to prepare all we can and hopefully give our best next weekend.
What did you talk to your dad about after the game?
I haven't really had a chance to talk to him. We've just been celebrating so much. It probably won't hit us for a while.
All right, congratulations. Best of luck in the Sweet 16.
Thank you very much.
Ted?
Bryce Drew. He made the 2 foul shots that were insurance, but it was defense by Bryce Drew. And an exhausting 45-minute performance as Valpo beat Florida State in overtime today. An incredible story here in Oklahoma City. Now it's the #1 seed Kansas that's trying to hold off Rhode Island. And the Jayhawks have a 2-point lead as we wind down towards 2 minutes in the first half. I know one thing between games, the payphones out in the hallway here, you couldn't get on one.
Everybody was on him, though. Valparaiso's really done a great job, and the Bryce Drew story is a tremendous one.
All the players are calling home. Hey, did you see? Did you watch us, huh? Did you see? Out of bounds off Rhode Island. I think Jim Herrick senses how important these final 2 minutes of the half are. His team has stayed with Kansas, but they want to stay with him right into the locker room.
That's exactly why Roy Williams is very upset right now. He knows his team has to raise the level of play, but these guys have come to play.
Nick Bradford down low to Lester Earl over Clay. Look at LaFrenz up there tipping. It's Bradford down with it and up and in.
Kansas right on the boards that time, sending everyone to the boards. At that time, Nick Bradford comes up with it.
So the 5th putback basket for Kansas. A 4-point lead, and now finally, really for the first time, the Jayhawk fans, and there are a lot of them here, get up and make some noise. That was a good move by Clay. And let's see where it's going. That's going against Kansas.
It's Lester Earl not in position on that play. As Clay goes to the bucket. Caught Earl moving.
7-point run for the Jayhawks. That's given them a 4-point lead, but now Luther Clay of Rhode Island will try to snap that. Coming up, Pennzoil at the half, Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, Dean Smith with a full recap of everything that's gone on today, and wrapping up this incredible first weekend of the tournament. We've had in the Midwest region alone, the 10, 11, 12, and 13 seeds got through the first round. The 13 seed is in the Sweet 16. And TJ Pugh comes back in. Of course, Kansas has never experienced that. They've never been lower than a 4 seed in Roy Williams' tenure. First foul shots of the game for Rhode Island coming here late in the half, and Luther Clay missed them both.
You just got to make sure not give Kansas the momentum right now and keep the defensive scheme going.
That's off Billy Thomas. Tyson Wheeler deflected the ball off Thomas and out of bounds. Now Rhode Island is going to take their first half 20-second timeout. And that's exactly what you mentioned, Roy Williams screaming at his team. But Jim Herrick wants to get a hoop here. He wants to make sure his team doesn't lose the good first half here in the last minute. Well, this is the 8 seed against the 1 seed. I think there's fellas sitting right not that far from me who can remember what it's like. 8 seed against a 1 seed. 1981. Who is this guy?
Jumping on up. Design play by Jack Hartman, Kansas State.
Rolando Blackman for the 8th seeded Kansas State. And they knocked out the number 1 seed Oregon State at Pauley Pavilion. On that cover, I got to tell you, you look like you were jumping a lot higher than you did when we saw the tape.
I tell you what, that's the youth factor, baby. The youth factor. Get an opportunity to see that leaping going on right down here. Man. That's the opportunity right now.
Here's what I like, though. I like this guy here. Look at him. He's thinking he's going to get the ball. He's thinking he's going to get the ball.
I have no opportunity. My teammate, Tim Jankovic. Great time for K-State basketball.
So now it's Rhode Island trying to be the 8th seed. That can knock off a 1. Tyson Wheeler pounding that ball down. Setting up Clay. Look at the move by Clay.
Nice.
Scored and a foul.
What a play right there by Clay, but an even better play by Tyson Wheeler, getting him the basketball on the move for him to be able to finish. Ryan Robertson has his hands full right now. Nice pass in between. Gets an opportunity to go up and under once again. Puts the ball through right off the glass. Great play.
You know, that's why coaches take those 20-second timeouts, because they say, you know, Luther, why don't you try that double dipsy underneath reverse behind the back, flip it off the glass play.
You just hope something good and something positive happens for your basketball team. And on that play, it did.
Well, Clay clearly shoots by degree of difficulty because he's not doing too well at the foul line. 35 seconds, Robertson. Thomas for 3. He has had a cold first half. So now Rhode Island can hold for 1. That's what Jim Herrick wants. And the Rams with a hoop could tie or lead. Going in the locker room.
Kansas is going to get a serious tongue lashing from Roy Williams as he's up and at him. He wants these guys' intensity to rise as well as the level of play to happen in the second half.
Now Wheeler for 3. Rimming out. Rebound to LaFrenz, and so that'll do it for the half. Kansas takes the lead into the locker room. Oh no, hold on. Kansas called a 20 before the ball was released by LaFrenz. And of course, well, 1.2. Andre Patillo taking charge. In college basketball, the bench can call a timeout, and that's what happened there. The players did not call it. The Kansas bench called the timeout.
Get an opportunity to get one more playoff right now and get a chance to talk to his team.
Wonder if they have a pacer play. Homer Drew can run down and draw it up for him real fast. The Valpo play that beat Ole Miss in the first round. In the Midwest region next weekend in St. Louis, the winner of this game to play Valparaiso. The number 3 seed Stanford will meet the winner of the Detroit-Purdue game. All right, LaFrenz will inbound, the left-hander to throw it. And Billy Thomas put it up. Oh, he almost banked it in. Well, the halftime numbers, and there's that neither team hit their threes, but particularly noticeable. Billy Thomas was 0 for 6 from the three-point line, and that's the very first thing Roy Williams said to Beth as they went in the locker room, and Paul Pierce immediately inside. It's 2 for Kansas.
Now it's going to be up to Rhode Island now to keep their intensity going and get off to a sharp start in this second half.
And Coutinho Mobley does it. Well, I'm sure that what is in the minds of Rhode Island, they watched yesterday, saw that Illinois State, the 9 seed, was even with Arizona for a half, and then Arizona got serious in the second half. Well, Kansas has the ability to do that very thing. But not there, knocked out of bounds. It'll be Rhode Island ball.
It's an important part right now that Rhode Island stay in this basketball game early, making sure that they put the baskets down and not let this Kansas team get out on a run early in this second half.
This is a Kansas team that can accomplish so much. They can set an NCAA record for wins in a most games in a season. They already have 2 All-Americans. They They need to win a few more in the tournament to get those marks. Mobley lost it going up. And in the battle for the ball, it's going to be a bump and out of bounds to, well, a foul actually on Pierce, and that's his third. So Paul Pierce going for the ball with Mobley is called for a foul, his third.
Both guys are hustling for the basketball on this play. As Mobley loses the basketball, he jumps in Pierce's way, fakes the call and gets it.
So Rhode Island, possession, down 2. Up from the perimeter, falling down, Wheeler hits the 3.
He's giving Ryan Robertson a lot of problems right now as he's getting an opportunity to not only make the assist, but also put points on the board for Rhode Island.
Oh, LaFrenz, well, they got away with one there. LaFrenz had an easy shot, and at the last second surprised his teammate by trying to pass.
What's the play here? He goes up for the shot, loses the basketball, gets in Pierce's way, and all of a sudden grabs the ball. I don't think that's a foul, folks.
I think Paul Pierce would agree with you. But right now, he has to be a slight bit cautious. He's been so crucial, 13 points. The guy they call Mr. March, although LaFrenz is right with him. Why is it that you see the great teams that get those little hoops? They work so hard, and then they get an inbounds play and just get a gift.
Because you're worrying about too many people. There are lots of guys you have to play.
How about Robertson there?
All 6'5" inches of him.
Oh, look at that, Billy Thomas. Just a beautiful drop pass for Pierce.
Nice play there by Ryan Robertson. He has to start to get in the way of Tyson Wheeler and not have him penetrate right there. Did a great job on getting a block.
So 4 quick points for Kansas. And now Rhode Island needs an answer. Antonio Reynolds-Dean has not scored in this game. And the rebound pulled down by TJ Pugh. Now Robertson will push on the wing to Pierce. Thomas wants it. He wants the shot. But it's short. He'll run it down, though, in the corner. Pierce. And finally rebounded by Mobley. Now Rhode Island looking to run. Wheeler. Wheeler going all the way in. Charging foul.
Ryan Robertson right there. He's does such a great job with the backpedaling, getting himself into position as Wheeler was bringing the basketball down, cutting off the angle, and taking the charge. He did a really good job on that play because that's very difficult when a player is coming at you at full speed.
Well, how damaging is that? You have a 2-on-1 break, you get no points and a crucial foul, and then at the other end, Billy Thomas finally knocks one down. So it's a 7-point run here for Kansas. So one thing for Billy Thomas, he had a horrible first half, but he keeps shooting. Now Reynolds-Dean, first points for Rhode Island.
So Coutinho Mobley showing his versatility also, going to the basket and making a nice play to Reynolds-Dean.
But Pierce gets it right back with LaFrenz.
See, Rhode Island can't afford this back and forth exchanging baskets. They've got to be the ones to hold Kansas down. Kansas is the one with a stronger basketball team.
They're now waiting for Mobley, who had to fix a shoe. Wheeler going to his right. Mobley never got in the offense there, but Wheeler is fouled on the shot. Boy, Ryan Robertson in disbelief, looking at the official after Wheeler went down and will end up with 3 shots. I think the Kansas people may have felt Wheeler did a Luganis there.
Yeah, he fell backwards and flopped, that's for sure. Flopped all into the water, but he got the call, though. Got the referee to keep an eye on him. Now he's on the line trying to get 3.
9 points now for Wheeler.
Ryan Robertson trying to play him really hard on that play, but sometimes, as he did on that play, he tapped him a little bit as he went on up into the air, and you can't do that while a player is in his shooting motion.
Very important points for Jim Herrick and his team. Just slowing things down, weathering a little run here. 3 foul shots for Wheeler. And a 3-point Kansas lead. Now Pierce and LaFrenz again. Too easy for Kansas.
Rhode Island's not doing a very good job. They're playing a soft defense at the top of the key, and the important factor is that they're letting the Kansas players get behind them for easy baskets off the pressure.
Tino Mobley dishing. Reynolds, Dean, and a foul.
Tino Mobley showing that great versatility right there, playing almost a little bit of a point guard position, going to the basket, avoiding the charge, dropping it off to Dean's Reynolds for the nice 2 points. He had to avoid right here TJ Pugh, who was getting in position, couldn't get back and recover in time to get to Dean, drops the 2 and gets the foul.
So Antonio Reynolds Dean from Atlanta. More than half the team's block shots. Trying to get himself his vision fixed.
Actually some good defense by Rhode Island. Joshua King using those long arms to get on Pierce.
Oh, LaFren's call from traveling.
Rhode Island basketball team who's really doing some good hanging right now too. They've had some problems this year on the rebounding side of it, but right now they're hanging with Kansas and it's 25-25 on the boards. That's good for Rhode Island.
I would almost say that's shocking.
Completely, because these guys have to get on the boards and make sure they beat these guys out.
Tyson Wheeler forcing that one up. Luther Clay, though, saves it. And the tough shot goes in.
It was a very difficult shot right there. He was completely surrounded, but got the right arm clear and was able to put it on in.
Kansas right now going with 4 of their starters, and then C.D. McGrath is the 5th player. Purdue looking to be in command. They'd be advancing in this Midwest region. UCLA by 9 over Michigan. Shot clock under 10 and a steal for Rhode Island.
Kansas right now is just not sharp on the offensive end and directing their offense to where they want it to go.
Mobley. Long rebound though. Robertson runs it down. Now LaFren's in the foul circle. Rafe LaFren's with 18 today.
That's why I think Rafe LaFren's is so good. If things don't work on the inside for him, he's able to come on out where he had room, as you saw on that play, and was able to take a nice, easy shot. He has the skill to go inside and outside.
He's already a double-double today, 18 points and 11 rebounds. Tyson Wheeler. Oh, that's what Rhode Island needs, the 3 from Wheeler.
Wheeler's just so dangerous because if you guard him too close, he's such a quick mighty mite, and he can get to the basket and create for others. And if you play away from him, you can do just that by hitting a great jumper.
So Rhode Island has tied the game again. TJ Pugh inside. Fronting was Reynolds Dean.
He was on that all the way.
Inside, here goes the big guy, and LaFren sliding in. Picks up the foul. That'll be 2 on Rafe LaFren's. Well, every team, every great team has one somewhere along the line of the tournament. They have a game where they're not playing well, and they've got to try to survive it. And it appears that this is it for Kansas.
This is a game that they have to raise the level of their play. But everybody would love to be Roy Williams to make wholesale changes the way he just did and bring in some serious talent right off the bench.
Oh, but Mobley knocks it down. So here is Rhode Island with the lead.
Tino Mobley, these guys are serious. They're not talking about hanging in there, as Harrick said at halftime. These guys are looking to win.
And they are not Illinois State. Knocked away by Mobley. So Mobley and Wheeler, the backcourt for Rhode Island, getting going. Here's Preston Murphy, and he is fouled. The foul will go on Kansas, Nick Bradford.
Crowd getting into it a little bit right now, but the backcourt of Rhode Island is really getting a job done too. Tyson Wheeler from the inside, outside, they're getting an opportunity to have Tino Mobley take some outside shots and really leading their basketball team. Rhode Island right now is 3 for 3 on the 3-pointers in this second half.
That's how you pull an upset. Shoot the ball. Timeout, Rhode Island couldn't get it in. So Rhode Island will take a 20.
KU just not sharp right now. Roy Williams is very, very hot right now as they have 3 turnovers in the last 4 trips that they've had. Just not a sharp thing for a good team like Kansas.
So now it's Roy Williams' turn to let the officials know. Well, now he's letting his team know. You read some stories that talk about how Roy Williams has been a little gentler this year, a little mellower. I'm not sure you'd say that watching the 2 games of this tournament.
Well, they have the level of play he wants to have it to rise. They just played against Prairie View, which was a blowout basketball game for his team. But now they've got a team now that's trying to come at him, and they're not sharp right now. He doesn't want a nip-and-tuck basketball game.
David Arababu is in for Rhode Island with Luther Clay sitting. 3 guards out there for Rhode Island. Wheeler. And the rebound. Oh, Kansas didn't pick it up, and Rhode Island lays it in with a foul. Kansas had the rebound and just dropped it. And Reynolds Dean with a foul.
Just the coordination right now is not there. The continuity.
There's what Roy Williams watched that, and he goes, Rafe, get in there. As Eric Chenoweth, the freshman, had that ball go right through his hands.
You know something, you got to be ravenous on the boards when those things happen. The ball comes off the board. We should have seen Lester Earl jump up there to go get it. Chenoweth jump up there to go get it. Somebody has to be able to apply themselves, one of the Kansas big men, to be able to do that, and Roy Williams knows this.
Reynolds Dean with a 3-point play. Rhode Island has scored the last 9 points and now have the largest lead of the ball game.
Look at the pressure by Rhode Island. Look where Kansas is right now running their offense.
Knocked away by Mobley and out of bounds. Mobley has 2 fouls. Wheeler has 3. So they still, with enough time, more than 12 minutes, Wheeler particularly has to be careful.
He has to be careful. But right now they have Kansas going from side to side instead of thrusting toward the basket, in which Roy Williams is telling his team, attack the bucket, guys.
Down low, Reynolds Dean knocks it away. Lester Earl saves. Robertson from the wing. There's a big 3 for Kansas.
Big 3 by Ryan Robertson right there too, because Kansas was reeling a little bit right now, and he's kind of trying to right the ship.
When Kansas has needed offense, the guy they've really turned to is Pierce. He's out right now, although he's at the table to come back in. But Mobley's starting to feel it.
Tino Mobley's so smooth and also so strong because Nick Bradford was right on him, and he was able to get a little bit of a push and still get the shot off.
Off the baseline, Billy Thomas rebounded. Rhode Island stuck with it. Reynolds Dean, though, gets it out. And here comes Preston Murphy. Rhode Island by 5. Rhode Island almost had another 2. Murphy's shot rattled out. And Bradford comes up racing with it for Kansas. Off the hands of Earl. And now it's Murphy going in. Didn't get the foul. Rebounded by Mobley. Oh, what a shot by Mobley.
What a shot, a turnaround shot going away from the basket and puts it off the glass. Tino Mobley.
Well, right now, Rhode Island's unconscious. They lead by 7. And they're doing it in the backyard of the #1 seed. A building filled with Kansas fans. Rhode Island, a 61% shooting half thus far.
They're playing strong. These guys are playing very, very aggressive. Rhode Island is.
Now a whistle. And off the ball. A foul on Rhode Island. That is Ron and Ellen LaFrenz, the parents of Rafe. Ron was a basketball player himself in Northern Iowa, then helped coach Rafe in high school. And they moved to Lawrence from Iowa every basketball season to watch Rafe play. They live in a house that is owned by former Jayhawk Rex Walters. The lob to Pugh. Well done by Ryan Robertson.
Exactly. Rafe posted up in the middle, and Pugh got right behind the defense and was able to be fouled by Robertson.
So now Kansas. Can Kansas take Rhode Island out of this run with their defense?
Oh, they can. They're a great defensive basketball team. The important factor right now is that they've got to make plays. Rhode Island's on a run. They've got to be able to stop them and get some rebounds out of this play.
Kansas going into the zone here. Rhode Island, Jim Herrick off the bench told his team, move it out, slow down. Preston Murphy, shot clock running out. Wheeler's gonna have to bomb. Wheeler does bomb.
Man, what a sweet shot under some serious duress. He's able to still put that shot down. You can tell that they're still fired up.
How devastating is that to a defense when you play for 33 seconds and a guy flips one in? Billy Thomas, he flips one in for Kansas.
Kansas just has to get some level of consistency right now and get fired up, as Roy Williams is fired up right now because he's just lost the jacket right now over there on the sideline, trying to pump that team up.
9.5 minutes to play. Rhode Island right now giving a rest to Reynolds Dean. Wheeler, though, no rest. Wheeler doesn't miss.
Wheeler has some serious moves going on right there, too, and Ryan Robinson is having a lot of problems dealing with his extreme quickness.
Wheeler just slapping his hands, going nuts out there.
Well, he's feeling the fire right now. He's definitely into it.
Now Pierce, and he does it. Boy, this game getting electric here in the second half.
Paul Pierce.
A 6-point Rhode Island lead. Tyson Wheeler has 20 points. He's made 4 threes in the second half. Arababu. A little floater goes over LaFrenz.
Very nice patience right there by Arababu. Getting that basketball, turning and taking his time and hitting.
Oh, all of a sudden, Rhode Island finding points in a flurry. Now they clear out for LaFrenz. Oh, look at that great move with the block. Luther Clay.
Tremendous play right there by Luther Clay, helping Arababu out.
Wheeler sets up King. Rhode Island not missing. King with a 2. Rhode Island is on fire. 67% shooting in the second half. They lead Kansas by 10.
Rafe LaFrenz makes a great move, but Luther Clay with the great timing coming over, giving help, gets the block on Rafe LaFrenz.
And now there's all sorts of confusion. The ball was inbounded by Kansas, and Rhode Island wasn't ready for it. And Kansas through the length of the floor, and Pierce made an uncontested layup.
Oh, Ted. Can Rhode Island keep this up, though? That's the question.
All I know is they don't want to be awakened right now. Just let him stay in this dreamland. Mobley fouled on his way. Is that Pierce? If it is, it's 4. Let's see who they called it on. Personal foul given to LaFrenz. It's his 3rd. That's a big call for Kansas. Well, the Rhode Island players haven't been through this before, but Jim Herrick sure has.
Well, he's been through this, and also his players right now are feeling that fire right now, and also they're in the penalty right now. So anytime they get fouled, these guys are going to be at the free throw line.
7:52 to play. Pugh leading for Kansas. An unconscious run here by Rhode Island.
1-1.
And now Mobley shooting a 1-1. Mobley, an 86% foul shooter, and he missed the front end. So there's a little fragility finally from Rhode Island. Kenny Gregory down low to Lester Earl. Off to Pierce. Earl big for the rebound. Lester Earl.
Lester Earl going up for it, though. He's trying to bring emotion to this Kansas team by slamming it down so hard.
What credit to these players, both sides. The level of play has just gone up so dramatically that you can see the players standing on both benches. Electricity all over. A low-scoring first half, and it's gone nuts here. Preston Murphy trying to back up Gregory. Kicks to Mobley. So now Rhode Island missing a few. And here comes Kansas, down 6. Under 7 to play. Pierce. LaFrenz. The lean in. No! That's on LaFrenz. And that's his 4th.
Oh, man. Excellent play by Arababu. Entry pass comes into Rafe LaFrenz, and he gets great position because he knows Rafe has to get to him and bumps him.
Rhode Island hoping that Valparaiso didn't use up all of the miracles in Oklahoma. Preston Murphy stepping out of bounds. Tough defense by Billy Thomas.
It was very, very tough defense right there also. He got a little push by TJ Pugh that got away because the referee was looking right down the sideline and caught his foot on the line. Watch the hands by TJ Pugh right here. He steps on the line right there after the
last step of the right foot there. So now Kansas. Chance to cut into the lead. Pierce. Boy, got all kinds of people up in the air. Doesn't get the roll, but Pierce will go to the line. And Mobley will pick up his 3rd foul.
That's his 3rd personal. And 4th against the team.
See, he moves right along the sideline in his right foot. And the ref right there is taking a look right at it, makes the call. Right now, Rhode Island has to have something called consistency right now. It has to sustain the effort that they've started. This is still a great Kansas basketball team, and it's not just going to be so easy to win a basketball game against all these great players.
Paul Pierce, another 20-point game now. He's had 5 of them in his Kansas career in the NCAAs, and Lester Earl runs down the missed foul shot.
Movements like that and plays like that is what will kill any kind of drive that you have.
And Pierce down the lane, the dish to Earl. So here comes Kansas.
That was a sweet play right there, going right down the middle, beating all the defenses and flipping it back to a ready Lester Earl.
Under 6 minutes to play. They're roaring here in Oklahoma City. 7 straight points for Kansas. A screen for Wheeler. And a miss. And Pierce with a rebound. Now Robertson. So here's where Kansas hopes its depth and all the substitutions they did early will pay a dividend. A miss by Pierce. Long rebound to Clay. Wheeler running. Rhode Island's been an Iron Man team. Do they have enough left? See all the Rhode Island players just soaked in perspiration. Mobley up. Mobley hits. A 3.
The Rhode Island guards are just passing the basketball back and forth to each other. You take it, no, you take it. This time, Cuttino Mobley puts it together.
Billy Thomas missing. Clay big for the rebound. Mobley has 21 and Wheeler 20. The guards who have to do it for Rhode Island today are doing it.
A lot of contact right there on that play between Cuttino Mobley and Pierce. Cuttino Mobley staring down the referee, looking for a call.
Well, at the beginning of the game, we said if Rhode Island was to have a chance today, it had to come from their senior all-conference backcourt, Mobley and Wheeler, and they've done it with 4.5 to play. Again, Mobley almost banked it home, but the ball tipped out, and Rhode Island gets a new shot clock.
The big men have been helping their super backcourt also by getting the rebounds and getting them some nice second chance opportunities. The rebounding inch for Rhode Island is 1 now at 34 to 33. These guys are keeping pace with the great Kansas basketball team.
Kansas really defending the perimeter, making it tougher now on the 2 guards. The game clock coming down to 4 minutes. Backdoor cut Murphy. Hangs in the air and Lester Earl blocked it.
Lester Earl is too great an athlete right there for him to be hanging.
Billy Thomas set up. No. And the rebound. TJ Pugh with a big one for Kansas. Up top. Robertson missing and Mobley clears it. So Kansas had 2 good looks and could not knock the shots down.
That's some nice opportunities right there by some 2 good shooters too.
Now Rhode Island got trapped there. They just got trapped. Mobley wasn't watching. Tyson Wheeler walked into that trap in midcourt, and very alertly Wheeler called timeout.
Not to go through that Kansas pressure right there. He did a very good job. Now to see if they can readjust.
Rafe LaFren's back in with 4 fouls. Mobley missing. And the rebound to Bradford of Kansas.
Mobley still got a nice look at the bucket right there and just missed one.
So LaFren's gets it down low. And the turnaround short. He may have rushed that a little bit.
Got an opportunity to get a good shot too. Rafe LaFren's in a position of strength.
Did he fall back a little bit there, Rolando?
Now right now they've got to apply more pressure. They just can't allow Rhode Island to move the basketball all around.
So under 3, and now they get it to Wheeler. Down low, muscle move by Clay on the baseline. They went at LaFren's.
And Clay was very confident on that play, knowing Rafe LaFren's had 4 fouls. He just took it right to him, and Rafe had to play a little bit of a softer mode of defense.
8-point lead. Nick Bradford fouled a reach in by Preston Murphy.
Right now they know LaFren's has 4 fouls, and Clay gets the basketball, backs him up. LaFren's has to stand still, and Clay just goes right up over and makes the bucket. Very difficult when you have 4 fouls and you're a player that has to have so much going for you for these teams to win.
He'll be shooting 2 shots.
Rafe LaFren's took 6 stitches over his right eye Friday night when he was hit inadvertently by his teammate Paul Pierce. He's been in and out today with fouls, but he's had a great game when he's been in. 18 points.
Believe it or not, right now, you know he's not thinking about that shiner over his eye. He's thinking about how I can get some points on the board or do something to help this Kansas team move ahead, because he surely wants to move ahead into St. Louis.
Nick Bradford missing the second, and Wheeler with a rebound. So Rhode Island has a 7-point lead. 2.5 minutes to go. And the trap, Robertson smothers the pass.
What a great timing play right there. Good pressure by Ryan Robertson.
Oh, that's huge for Kansas.
Beautiful play by Ryan Robertson, coming up with a great defensive play and taking it right to the three-point line, getting some points for Kansas.
So suddenly it's a 4-point game. Mobley, Coutinho Mobley in, the dish to Clay, and he's fouled.
Tremendous defensive sequence right here, but watch Ryan Robertson, the timing of the jump. Gets the ball, 6'5" of him, takes the basketball right on, not waiting for his teammates, realizes that Kansas needs points now, puts it right on through, getting back on defense.
Some people talk about Robertson's foot speed being a hindrance, but there's the size. Wheeler only 5'10".
And that's exactly what happened on that play, too. He tried to jump, Ryan Robertson jumped, a difference in size, he's able to take it down. But what was good about that is that he didn't wait for the offense to come down, he took it himself, put it down.
Well, there's a big foul shot. Luther Clay in the first half was 0 for 3. Luther Clay, a sophomore, went to Purdue for a year before transferring. He now has 13 points and 11 boards.
Kansas in these waning minutes is going to have to stop the penetration of both guards, though. They're still getting inside and allowing the big players to have opportunities at the bucket.
So Luther Clay puts Rhode Island up 6. This trip will get the game under 2 minutes. Pierce with a cut. Pierce with a finish.
That's what Kansas has needed the whole game right there, but you saw how sharp that play was run as Thomas hits a cutting Pierce going to the basket.
So it's a 4-point game for Rhode Island. Under 2 minutes. Tyson Wheeler. Pierce is guarding Mobley. And Paul Pierce has 3 fouls. LaFrenz inside has 4. Clay, will he take LaFrenz? No. Shot clock running down. Mobley got the roll.
What a sweet shot by Coutinho Mobley. Jumped on in there and made the beautiful basket under duress.
And now Wheeler called for the foul. Robertson just taking the ball down the wing and created the contact. Tyson Wheeler's 4th foul.
The shot clock going down. Coutinho Mobley goes right into the middle of the paint and floats with a sweet left hand. Now watch it hit the basket and go right on through.
Not a shooting foul, only the 6th on Rhode Island, but Wheeler now has 4. Robertson, rebound, out to Rhode Island with 1:13 to play. Rhode Island by 6. Boy, there is a guy who's been through some NCAA tournament experience, Larry Farmer. Great player and coach at UCLA. Got back into coaching this year with Jim Herrick. Mobley handling it, and Mobley's a great foul shooter, and he'll get to the line right here. 1:09 to play. Rhode Island by 6. And Kansas now has put Rhode Island, that's the 10th foul, into the 2-shot situation. Both teams have plenty of timeouts. I'll tell you, it's been an amazing weekend in Oklahoma City. Jim Herrick Jr. is an assistant coach at Valparaiso, which is in the Sweet 16. If Rhode Island could pull this stunner off, that's who they'd play. Father against son. Mobley. Coutinho Mobley, the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year. Grew up in North Philadelphia. Didn't have the grades to get into college out of high school, but he worked at it. Went to Rhode Island, and this year blossomed under Jim Herrick's leadership and became the Conference Player of the Year. And he calmly knocks down both. 25 for Mobley, and Rhode Island leads the #1 seed by 8. Lester Earl to Billy Thomas. Inside off the ball, a foul on Rhode Island. And that is the worst kind of foul to stop the clock, put Kansas at the line.
Kansas was doing a great job on their execution on that play too, sending Earl to the basket and having LaFrenz and also Pierce work with each other down low. So Coutinho Mobley had no choice but to grab him so he wouldn't get a layup.
But now Mobley has 4 fouls. So does Tyson Wheeler. And Paul Pierce will be at the line for a 1-and-1. 74% foul shooter, the All-American. Calm. He didn't get that nickname, Mr. March, for nothing.
He's an All-American. This is the important free throws right now.
Jim Herrick and the Rhode Island side could not have asked for anything more to get to the last minute against the great Kansas team with a chance. A miss, the tip. And Rhode Island has it and takes a timeout. Murphy called timeout on the baseline. So Pierce missed the second. And with 55.9 to go, Rhode Island has the ball and a 7-point lead. And let's see, they're going to take a 20-second timeout. It's a 20-second timeout for Rhode Island. So Rhode Island is saving the one full timeout they still own.
So time and time again right now, they've been able to handle the Kansas pressure. Sure, we're going to see some full court pressure, have the opportunity to get some steals, but these guys now have been going to the line and they have not come up with a system in which to stop the Rhode Island guards.
Well, I'll tell you, we've had some fun here in Oklahoma City. I don't mind telling you. Valparaiso, shockingly, the 13th seed is in, just the second in the history to make the Sweet 16. No surprise in the other brackets, Stanford and Purdue, the 2 and the 3, survive out of St. Louis, or survive out of Chicago, rather. Rhode Island now inbounding. How quickly will Kansas foul? Mobley is the guy Rhode Island wants to have the ball.
Look at the beautiful quickness by Wheeler to get the ball up the court.
Oh, and he passed it to Luther Clay and he dropped it.
Tough mistake right there. You didn't have to pass the basketball that hard.
Nope. Well, you have to have confidence in your players. But the guy that Rhode Island wanted to have the ball was Mobley. Wheeler went away from Mobley. Luther Clay just could not catch it. Agony. And no one feels worse than Luther Clay.
Oh, no one does feel worse because they know it's an opportunity right now.
46 seconds to go. Kansas has taken a 20. Kansas loaded still with timeouts. Well, you're seeing a great finish here. There's a great finish in Atlanta. UCLA about to knock Michigan out. Here, a stunner. The #1 seed in major trouble.
They're in big trouble right now. They're going to have to make some serious plays here with 46 seconds to go.
But remember, Mobley and Wheeler for Rhode Island both have 4 fouls. They must be cautious. Billy Thomas needs a shot. Doesn't get it. LaFrenz does with a foul.
Great play by Rafe LaFrenz, following that ball, getting it off the glass, and a much-needed opportunity right here for Kansas.
Reynolds Dean's 3rd foul.
That's his 3rd personal, and it's team foul number 8 against the Rams. Returning for Kansas is number
20 points, 13 boards for LaFrenz. UCLA has knocked out Michigan. In Oklahoma City, the #1 seed is in major trouble. Kansas, LaFrenz missed the foul shot, but Kansas rebounds. Robertson, McGrath with it. Off the wing, it's Pierce short. And Rhode Island has the ball. Preston Murphy is fouled. 25 seconds left, and Rhode Island, the 8th seed, leads the #1 seed by 5. We welcome those of you that have watched UCLA knock out Michigan. It has been an incredible day in Oklahoma City. The 13th seed Valparaiso is in the Sweet 16, and now Roy Williams' Kansas team is on the brink. Rhode Island has had an incredible second half, and Preston Murphy at the line to shoot 2. Jim Herrick, who's been through this at UCLA, was out of coaching last year. He was covering the Final Four for television last year. And now he's 25 seconds from getting his team a decided underdog here into the Sweet 16, where he could match up against his youngest son, Jim Jr., who's an assistant coach at Valpo.
Believe me, he feels it and he can taste it right now as the players are coming through for Rhode Island.
7-point Rhode Island lead. Robertson, Thomas. Inside Lester Earl, and Kansas will stop it with 15.5. That is Jim Herrick Jr. He is an assistant coach at Valparaiso. He played for his dad at Pepperdine. His dad watched Valparaiso in a remarkable win earlier today, and now Junior is sweating it out as Rhode Island leads by 5. They break a man long. It's Mobley with the catch. And Mobley has fouled. The best foul shooter for Rhode Island will go to the line with 13.4 to go. Jim Herrick in the first round coached against Murray State's Mark Gottfried, someone he said is as close as his son. He may coach against his son in St. Louis next Friday. The entire Herrick family is here this weekend. 3 grandkids, 3 sons. Mobley, an 86% foul shooter.
A tremendous game by Mobley and also the guards of Rhode Island, keeping this team in this game throughout the second half and throughout the game.
Rhode Island has scored 51 points in the second half. I didn't think anybody would do that against Kansas.
It was strong. He was strong. He came with it for the entire game. Consistency was the mode as he played today.
And that's the big one, a 3-possession game. 13 seconds. Robertson. Pierce. Wide left. Time running out on the #1 seed. LaFrance with a tip and a timeout, Kansas, but it is too little, too late. With 1.1 to go, Jim Herrick is going to do it. And the #1 seed will be out. Incredible. You could not ever have dreamt of this script. Valparaiso and Rhode Island to come out of this region. Look at that. That is incredible. This has been one of the great weekends of March Madness you could ever hope for in Oklahoma City. The 13th seed Valparaiso, and now it is Rhode Island has stunned the #1 seed. Roy Williams has to be shattered. And the dance for Rhode Island